everyone. Hey everyone, I'm Jada. Welcome to my channel. Today what I'm going to be talking about are all of the embroidery projects that I've done so far during quarantine and the type of stitches that I've used. First off, I made this on a blue crop top shirt, just a basic shirt that I bought from Goodwill. And I actually wore it in one of my older videos. And the stitches that I used were a lazy daisy for the leaves, for some of the leaves, not all of them, a straight stitch for the petals, a French knot for the brown of the sunflower, and I'm not sure what these ones are called, but I will link down below who I learned it from because I watched a video for it. And also a back stitch for the roundness of this sun and a satin stitch to fill in the sun. Doing the clouds might have been the hardest part because I'm a beginner and this is a little advanced. This was a little advanced for me at least. So I had to learn it and I actually started bleeding twice. So that was really nice. But overall, I really like how it came out, except for like the sun. I'm not sure what I did wrong here, and I'm not sure like which thread I'm supposed to pull to make it work out. So I'm just leaving her like this and I'm okay with it. But yes, that's what I did for my first embroidery project ever. My second project were these shorts, and I followed a Generation DIY video step by step for it, and she will also be linked down below. But I would just suggest that if you're a beginner like I am, to point out where you want everything to go, because she freehanded it. She freehanded her crescent, which came out really well, and I was like, oh yeah, I can do that. I was being a little too arrogant, and it came out fine. Like, I think you can tell what it is, but I would just suggest pointing out at where you want everything to be, but also being good at drawing, because I am not. But I really like how it came out, especially as a beginner, because I had no idea what I was doing, especially in a pocket. Like, you have to do certain things for it. But the stitches that I used are a back stitch for both the stars and the crescent, and then I just did like little crosses everywhere else. You cannot even tell this is a star. You can only tell because like the other wonky stars, like these came out really wonky, but I really like how it looks when I'm wearing them. But I used French knots for little dots because I tried making other dots just going in and out, but you can't really see them. I would definitely suggest using a water-soluble marker so that you can see what you're doing, but I don't have one currently, so I used Sharpies and they're just not gonna come out. Like, you can see right here, I was gonna put a star here, but I didn't want it to be too far from everything else, so I just took it out. And yeah, I really like how these ones came out. For this next boy, I'm really proud of these. These are my mushroom pants. I love these so much. This is the other side. I love them. Okay, I'm gonna tell you everything that I did. These boys took forever. And when I tell you, if anyone decides to buy something like this off of me, I will have carpal tunnel syndrome by the time that I am like in my 20s, which is like 2 years away. But it hurts so bad, but it's so worth it because I think they came out so nice. But back to like what I did. First off, what I did for my mushroom pants was I outlined it with a Sharpie again because I don't have a water-soluble marker or chalk or anything. So I used my Sharpie to outline, and then I just followed it with my white red and green. I didn't know like what a satin stitch was yet. Like I didn't know it had a name, but I was just trying to fill every little shape in there. And boy, was it hard. It was really hard trying to figure out how to fill in the roundness of the mushroom. But I was mostly experimenting the entire time with each leg because I had no idea what I was doing. But I used a back stitch for the outline of the mushroom, just to know like where I will be filling in. And I also tried using a back stitch for the stumps, but I realized that you don't need to do all that. Trust me, you do not. What I did for the first pant leg though is I did my red but leaving some spaces blank basically, because I knew that I would want white in a certain space and white somewhere else, like in a corner or in the middle. And I especially wanted it to look different, like I didn't want them to look uniform. So I was just leaving out some spots for the white. I was also experimenting with French knots and stuff for like the spots that go around the red. But ultimately I decided to go against that for the next pant leg because I didn't really think that it was necessary. Like it didn't have to be perfectly circular for me. So what I did instead was outline like where the white would be for the second pant leg. I would outline where the white would be and then fill it in with the satin stitch basically. But it hurts really bad, like going through 2 things of denim, it hurts. For the grass, I did a normal stitch but didn't go in and out of the fabric. But let me elaborate. So what I did instead was I would push my needle through the bottom of the jeans, like the inside of the jeans, and then I wouldn't put it back in through the surface of the jeans. Instead, I would loop around the hem because it's just the bottom of the pants and go back from the inside of the jeans. So I never did through and back. I just went through and I went around the hem and I kept going through, but I made sure to slant the grass sometimes just to make sure that the grass had movement in itself, you know? Now some of the mushrooms came out looking a little wonky, but first of all, my hands were hurting. Second of all, it was a long time, and it was probably like I've been staying up past midnight to do these just because, I don't know, I don't have to go to school anymore, so what's the point? But also, I just thought that it wouldn't look right to me if I made them all look exactly the same because I wasn't basing it off of a picture or anything, so I decided to go against that, of like just making it the exact same thing over and over again, you know? So those were my mushroom jeans. My fourth project was actually based off of this pencil, and this is what it came out looking like. Now I don't own any black jeans that I still wear or that I can still fit. So I just took these American Eagle jeans because I don't wear them that often and recreated the look on here. And I didn't put it everywhere, I just put it on the back pocket. So what I did was I drew all of my stars and then I divvied up all of my colors and designs, like based off orange has this one, neon has this many, and the outline stars has this many. And I'm actually like writing that out. And I just want to say that it was a lot easier knowing that I was going to fill in the stars, because compared to the shorts, I just have to like figure out where the points are going to go. But for these, I could actually draw it out and I could just follow the line perfectly and fill it in as I go, because the silver would have to disappear at one point. And I think it was actually a lot easier doing it that way. And for all of my embroidery projects, I use 6-strand, but for this one, I use 6-strand for all of them except for the outlined Let me show you. Except for these outline stars, I use 3 strands so that you can tell like, oh yeah, that's not this, and that's not incomplete. Or at least I hope you can tell. This one was definitely like experiment, because I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea how to fill it in. Every time I did it differently, I was like, oh, I like that, but let me try this way. And by the time that I finished it, I was just like, you can have it every which way you want, because I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know if it would be called a satin stitch, because it's not like a rectangular shape, a circular shape. It's a star, like, I don't know. But my favorite for sure, because I did it different ways, even just looking at it right now. For the most part, I did it a different way every single time. Like, sis, what were you going through? What was she going through? I have no idea. This one for sure was my favorite because it's like starting in the center. And I think that I should have been doing that from the jump, but I wasn't. Not the happiest with the star jeans, but I finished it. I accomplished something, so I just thought I would share, you know? So I made the Takashi Murakami flower on these Wrangler jeans, and it took a very, very long time. But I really love how it came out for the most part. I saw 3 people in one day post with the filter. Here, I'll post it right here. Post with that filter in one day. So I was like, oh yeah, people are gonna know this. I used so many stitches. It feels like so many stitches because it took so long. I used a satin stitch for the petals in the face and the red smile, and a back stitch for the outline of the smile, which I would later find out was a little too early because I didn't do the face yet. And I did a back stitch for the black outline of the petals and around the circle. So it sounds like so little, but having all those colors for one took so long. Like, because I had to divvy up my colors, I had to put them in order, make sure I was doing it in the right order. Like, okay, pink right here, another pink right here, purple, blue, like, gosh. And it was pretty difficult for me to do the eyes, which I ended up doing French knots. Oh yeah, I did French knots too. It was really tricky trying to mirror the eyes like in the perfect place, and ultimately I felt like I couldn't, and I felt like it was just dragging on for a really long time, so I was like, I just ended up doing the black eyes where I wanted them, or as best as I could. And then there are 2 catch lights, which are the white parts in your eyes that are like catching the light. Like you can see that the sun is in my eyes. So there are supposed to be 2, but once I got to that set, that was my very last thing. And my phone died. And I was like, I'm not about to charge my phone and record myself failing at this eye. So I did 1 catch light per eye instead. I know that I wouldn't like resell anything like this, because I do plan on selling some stuff that I embroider, but I wouldn't sell something like this because that's not my design. It's not original. I wouldn't resell anything like that because that would be like super disrespectful to the artist, Takashi Murakami, so I wouldn't do that. But I really do like how it came out. I'm really happy just like with everything that I've done, and I can't wait to continue. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below if you'd like, and tell me which one was your favorite, because I actually want to know, because I know what my favorite one is. Try to guess. You can't. But the sun is setting right here, so I'm gonna go now. Look away from me now. Look away so. Okay. Okay, but I think it is so worth it, except for the freaking face. The face. But you know what? We're just gonna live through it. We're just gonna look at it and smile because it's smiling right back at us. We're just gonna. Like, I've been doing this for a week, I think, a week or two. I don't know at this point. All the days are the same. I'm going through a cycle. This is what my life is like. How far you can come in like a week, because literally anything's possible. Don't quote me on that though.